All right, well, here we get to the exciting part of the evening. So refill your glasses, refresh your beer, get your mulled wine, whatever you're having. And this is Q&A time for all of the questions you want to ask about online marketing, social media, and your online business. In the wings, we have, well, it's not really in the wings, but Chantal Girardi, who some of you used to know as the Facebook Strategist, which is where she started out. Remember when she started out years and years ago? I met her at a small business expo, and she was the only person at the expo that was even more excited than I was. So she was out there sort of louder than I was. She was pulling people into the stand. She was wearing something bright and colorful. And it was the only time in my life that I felt I could not compete with someone for volume, for the amount of noise she was making, for what she was wearing. And that would have been, oh, how long ago? It was probably 5 years ago, I think, maybe longer. That was really at the really start of her business. And so she grew into being a Facebook strategist and really sort of evolved into what she is today, which is an online business strategist, really knowledgeable. Those of you that have seen Chantal before sort of on this show sort of knows the wealth of information and knowledge that she's got. And there are people that are here working with her too that have absolutely transformed their business. So Chantal, welcome. Tell us about you. Oh no, you can't, because I just told everyone.
I'm sure I'll find something to say. So firstly, why did I ditch Facebook? Well, because everyone wants to know why I ditched Facebook, and I always talk about that. So last year during COVID, every time there was an issue with Facebook, I was known as a Facebook strategist, which is part of my marketing and part of my niche. But unfortunately, I was getting people calling me all the time. For example, if they were online dating and being sent dick pics, if they were trying to divorce their partner and were trying to get admin rights back for their Facebook page, because they couldn't contact Facebook, they contacted me. And I just went, this is redonkulous. They're never going to pay me any money, and I'm getting harassed constantly, because I'm the Facebook guru. So still the Facebook guru, still a Facebook strategist, but pivoted during COVID into an online business strategist when I actually went and got my social media marketing diploma, and went and did a whole year of studying email marketing. So one of the things that I learned, and somebody said it here and I've written notes, but part of the strategies that I always talk about is how to get people the hell of social media. Like, that's the number one strategy. You don't want to be keeping them online. You want to get them offline as quickly and as simply as possible. So a little bit about me. I wasn't always this guru. I moved from South Africa 13 years ago with my then husband, and we had fully paid off cars. We had a fully paid off house, had a fully paid off health, wellness and fitness center. I think it was 28 years old. And my husband at the time got a job transfer, had identical twin girls that were 4 years old at the time, and my youngest was 1 year old. Got the opportunity. Anybody that wants to leave South Africa does. Came here, had absolutely no money, no support, knew no one, not on Centrelink, was paying our way into the country. And my husband at the time was made redundant twice. Okay. Now, the reason I tell you the story is because I'm not like Nick. I am non-techie. I do not get excited by any of the stuff that he gets excited about. But what I do get excited about is the fact that if little old non-techie hyperactive me, who, had like a health, wellness and fitness center, like that's the only business experience I really had. But if a little old me could come to a new country, know absolutely no one, and teach themselves social media without paying for advertising and grow a six-figure business and end up, buying a property by myself here on the Gold Coast. If I could do that, well, how many more business owners could do that? And that's what I'm really passionate about, is I think sometimes business owners, it gets tough or gets difficult, and they just want to outsource it, and they want to outsource it usually too quickly or too soon, or they're really hard on themselves and they get really stressed and overwhelmed. So for me, it's one of my greatest passions is to inspire business owners who do not have a marketing budget, who want to make an impact, but actually want to feed their family. Like, they don't just want to live online and, make friends, but they actually want to make some money, but whilst making an impact. That is what I'm incredibly passionate about. So I think, Nick, it was 2015 was when I started my Facebook strategist business. And then I've just actually recently turned this business into an online business marketing PTY Ltd, which is pretty cool. And it's since grown crazily, which is really exciting and crazy as well. Because again, I'm not really like this business woman type person. But I taught myself everything I know, and you can too. And this is what I'm really, really passionate about. So that's really just a little bit about my story. So you know that I am one of you and I'm not really one of Nick. So I'm more like you than me. But yeah, and I like to keep thinking of things simple, and I like to keep things really practical. So those who work with me know that I'm going to give you layman's terms and I'm not going to teach you everything that there is to learn. I'm just going to teach you what you need to know about your business and your marketing strategy, and it's got to be relevant to you, and you've got to enjoy doing it, because it's kind of like the fitness industry, right? Have any of you been to that personal trainer and you get there on day one and you've just told them you've got a bad back and a shitty ankle and you haven't exercised in 20 years, and they go, yeah, well, you're going to do 1,000 burpees today, and you know, they make you do 1,000 burpees and you leave, then you never want to do it again. Well, guess what? Your online marketing strategy doesn't have to be like that. It can be something you enjoy doing. And I find if you've got skills, systems, and strategies in place, those are the three things. If you have those three things, you can enjoy and have a profitable business. And that's why I said to Nick, this will be fun. Let's get together at the end of the year and let's just talk about skills and strategies and systems and things that I know do work. And that's what we're doing here today. So
awesome. Excellent. Well, I'm glad we're here doing this today. So how it's going to work today is we can talk forever, but it'd be good if we could talk about things that you're really interested in and to answer some of your questions. So who has got a question, a very first question for us about your online marketing, social media, funnels, business, whatever it is you're doing? Let's just open up the mic and let's ask your question. First and first served.
What is the best place to start? Is that Facebook or?
Oh my goodness. Okay, the very first place to start is actually at the beginning.
No.
So the beginning is always a good place to start. And I spoke briefly with Nick before we actually went online, before we went on live, and I said to him, people aren't going to like what I'm going to say. But usually the reason people fail online is because they do not have a business strategy. And this was one of the reasons why. Like, it doesn't matter what you do on social media or what platform you're on, if you do not have an overall business strategy, which has clearly defined who you are, what your offer is, who your audience is, where they are hanging out online, you know, what they're prepared to buy from you, because your ideal customer must actually want to hand over money to you. If you do not have that clearly defined, and if you haven't tested that and measured it, you're setting yourself up for failure. So one of the first things that I did, and I hand on whoever you believe in, for me, this is the thing that got me across the line, because I was so frustrated going and doing what everyone was telling me to do. Just be more visible and be more visible and give everything away for free and just be consistent. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is exhausting and nothing's working. And I don't even know if I'm doing it right. I scrapped it all back. And it was actually Russell Brunson's Expert Secret book, which is a very hard read. I'm not a big reader, but it was a really hard read. I think I got through the first 2 chapters or something. But one thing really stuck with me, and it's something that I do with my clients now. It's get one thing right. So look at one funnel, one customer journey, one income producing thing that you're the closest to getting right. And please do not rebrand it. Please do not just throw it out the window. Please don't go and buy another online course that's $27 that's going to teach you how to do it. Sit there, map it out, test it, measure it, and tweak it, refine it, and optimize it, and get that one thing working. And for me, that's the hugest thing. And that's exactly what I did. I started with a massive brain dump. I love a whiteboard. I'm a big whiteboard girl, but a lot of my clients do it in Canva, and they'll go map out a big brain dump, and you'll put all your income producing opportunities, you know, your book and your course and your program and your one-on-one and your, you know, all your different things that you have. and then look at it and go, where am I closest right now? Where do I have an audience? And I'm the closest with my offer and my audience, and get that one thing right. Audience, offer, make sure that it's desirable. Go and do a competitors analysis. It is one of the most underutilized things. If all you do today after this is go and do a competitors analysis on 3 different people who are doing something similar to you, it will be life-changing for your social media and digital marketing. Look at their website, look at their platforms, look at their content, look at their reviews, look at their offers, track their funnels. My bookkeeper knows, and I think Nick.
What's a funnel?
A funnel. So a funnel is a horrible F word. Great question. Horrible F word. The better word that I prefer, I use funnel because a lot of people know it, is customer journey or sales process. Okay. A strategy always starts with the end in mind. What are you selling? Are you sure someone wants to buy that? Is it desirable? Is it customer and outcome focused? And then doing horrible things like how you're going to take payment and how you how you're going to take payment and how you're going to display that offer at the end. But then we work backwards and we go, how are we going to effectively communicate to your audience online that they should buy this? By, showing your expertise, sharing success stories, telling your story, giving statistics, to get them to believe what you believe, that they must say yes and buy this thing. And then we've got to work out what platform are they on, because they may not be on LinkedIn. And people go, oh, hang out on LinkedIn because they're more professional people there. LinkedIn for me is a much colder platform. The LinkedIn strategy is completely different to a Facebook or Instagram strategy. And although you can use the same content across the platform, you have to respect your audience with your content, and make sure that you're only giving them the content that's relevant to them. And then, of course, you've got to respect the platform. So, for example, LinkedIn is 3 hashtags, Instagram's more hashtags, it's more picture-based, Facebook's more story-based, older demographic. So really important that you respect the platform, respect the audience, effectively communicate what it is to get a yes, and take them down the funnel, or take them down the sales process, or take them down the customer journey of nurturing to get that yes and to get them to buy. So for me, like, does that answer that? Like, that was a big answer.
I'm going to pick up on one thing you've said there, Chantal, and add to it.
Sure.
Is that there are so many things that you can do. And I know so many people, yes, I've been guilty of it as well too, that start a whole lot of things and never get to the end. But just remember this one thing: you only get paid for things that you finish. You never get paid for starting. So you're far better off to start something. So if you've got 6 ideas, don't start all 6 ideas, start one, get it right through to the end. So let's say it's a Facebook advertising strategy or Facebook marketing strategy. So I'm big into Facebook, organic Facebook posting. So you've got a strategy, you need to set that up. You need to work out the tech that you're using. You need to schedule your posts, all of that sort of thing. Get it right through to the end until it's running before you move on to the next thing. And what will happen with that is if you start one thing and take it through to the finish, and then start the next thing and take it through to the finish, you will finish all 6 things, and rather than having 6 things unfinished, which is what happens if you try and attempt it and do it all at the same time. So yeah, remember, you only get paid for things you finish.
That's great, Nick. And a couple of my favorite F words besides the funnel word is follow through and follow up, because sometimes it is a no, and you actually have to follow up and follow through again. Often people think on social media you're going to get a buy straight away, and you're not. Sometimes it's going to evoke enough curiosity. You have to follow up and follow through. There was another comment there, but now I can't think of it. It was brilliant, but I can't remember.
Was that something I said?
Yes, it was. No, I can't think.
Got it.
Yes, I got it. I got it, Nick. I got it.
You got it?
Confused mind buys nothing. Okay. So if you're going out to the marketplace and 1 minute you're spruiking one thing and then you're spruiking another, a confused mind buys nothing. They'll go, I have no idea like what you're doing or what you're selling, and they will buy nothing. It is better to take that one thing and go out hard and fast and strong.
And remember this, there's nothing wrong with your product or service. People often think there's something wrong with their product or service. If people are not buying, people are not signing up, people are not subscribing, that sort of thing there. It's got nothing to do with that because they haven't seen it yet. So before they've unwrapped it, they don't even know what's in there. So generally the problem is with your marketing and your sales process and something that you're doing there. So I see it so many times where people change their product, their service, they tweak it and that sort of thing there. It's the absolute wrong thing to do. You need to be looking at your marketing, tweaking, changing that, being consistent with it, finishing it and doing that. You can have the same product and run the same product for 10 years and just focus on your marketing, your sales process, your business process, your systems, and your skills, and you will be far more successful than changing your program.
Yeah,
yes,
and
F word that Jeff has said, focus. So yes, absolutely.
And that made me think when you were talking about that camera center cam. I taught boys in South Africa for 5 years at all-boy Christian school. And they used to put a ping pong ball in the toilet so the boys would aim at it. And when you put that center cam on, I was like, that's all I thought of, is like they're focusing on the little ball. So when you talk about the marketing, 100%, often it's got to do with effectively communicating what it is. And what happens is often people forget the language of how they used to feel when they didn't know about that thing originally. So, for example, if I'm working with, and this often happens in the spiritual, I work with a lot of spiritual coaches, and when they're in that, they talk about high frequency and raising your vibration, but they forget that they never knew those words or what those things were, and that was never an aspiration or a problem that they were feeling. They never knew that those mindset things, or that is what they needed to do. So you need to talk to your audience at the level that they're at to convince them that they need this product. So sometimes we communicate in our marketing the deliverables of what we're going to deliver, or our outcomes according to what we know that they need, like raising your frequency or raising your vibration. But really what those people are struggling with right now is they're feeling displaced, or they're feeling unsettled, or they're feeling like they're losing control of their place in the world, or they've lost their sense of self. It's important to get their words. And I think, excuse me if I'm pronouncing it wrong, Arindam said, how do you find who your audience is, who your real targets are? And 100%, that competitors analysis, incredibly important, because that's going to give you some real clarity and some golden gems. And I must say this, it's not so we can copy them, it's so we can differentiate ourselves from them. That is what marketing is about. Differentiating yourself from them in the marketplace, making sure that you are part of your unique selling point. The second part about that is the testing part of it. So if you go and you create a sales process and you create a marketing plan and you need to now go test it and you need to survey it. And it's really important. You can ask your teenage daughters, because they'll be brutally honest. Oh no, wait, that's just me, my family. But you can ask your kids, because they'll be brutally honest. But more importantly, if you go to people who have worked with you, who have been friends with you or clients with you for a very long time, ask them what they know, like, and trust about you. Ask them what they see in you as a coach or a person, and write those words down, because you can mirror those words in your marketing and you're more likely to pick up more of those types of people who are looking for that. So if you go to my Facebook page, which is Chantal Girardi, Online Business Strategist, I just created a post about a lovely old elderly gentleman who comes down and does a session with me. And I use the exact words that he described me as: practical, patient. And I use the exact words he said. I said, Michael, how's this for you? And he'll tell me straight how it is. And I'll use those words in my marketing, because I will pick up more people like him who love what it is that I do. So how to find those target audience, competitors analysis, test and measure, understanding the platforms, because the platforms will tell you Instagram's a much younger demographic. So, you know, it's about 25 and under. Facebook is older. LinkedIn's more B2B, but there's a much smaller usage and people on LinkedIn. And as I said, they're different strategies altogether. But really getting to know what their pain points are, so that you can effectively communicate to them using their words to compel them to buy, to persuade them that you're the choice, you're the right person for them. And it's not salesy, it's more social.
Excellent. All right, we've got another question here from Arindam. Is organic growth still possible with Facebook?
Yes. So, okay, you need to understand that social media platforms are a money-making company. So they're going to ask you to do ads all the time. Now, if you earn lots and lots of money and you can afford to pay a Facebook ads guru, maybe $300 to $500 a week, and then on top of that, put ad spend for another $300 to $500, and you can do that for 3 months just to test, measure, and trial. If you've got that kind of money, go down the advertising route. A guy that I spoke to yesterday in Google My Business, he is spending $5,000 a month on ads and on Google ads, and he's only getting 17% back. And he's been doing that for the last 6 months. So if you want to go down that route, that's fine. But let me inspire you. I have been doing this now since 2015. I do no paid advertising. I grew a 6-figure business, and the clients that I work with, 95% of them do not use paid advertising. The 5% that do use paid advertising are product-based businesses, mostly product-based businesses, because when you sell lots of products, you've really got no other option to go down the sort of paid route, because at the end of the day, it's like, am I buying this pen or am I buying that pen? At the end of the day, it's who does Facebook ads best that's going to get to sell that pen, and whoever spends the most money on ads is going to get that pen. So what does organic mean? Well, organic means you're going to have to sit online, you're going to have to build relationships, you're going to have to spend 20 minutes a day genuinely caring about customers, creating conversations with them and content, and getting them off as quickly as possible and getting them into a sale. And that is how organic works. So a lot of you go, I don't have time for it. I just don't want to do it. A lot of people just want to outsource their voice. They want to outsource and give it to someone else because it seems too hard. But it's not that hard. You just kind of need a roadmap and someone to show you how to do it. And at the end of the day, if you're not making lots of money right now and you need to be making more money, chances are you have 20 minutes a day that you can spend online. And yes, at some point you will get to the point where you can outsource and you can have VAs helping you. But a lot of people are too quick to do that right now. And when you pay for monkeys, you get peanuts. So it's incredibly important that you don't outsource your voice and you don't do it too early, and you make sure that you have a strategy so that you can oversee them, because they may have their best intentions for you. But you want to make sure that you have a strategy that they can implement and that you're working together for the greater good of your business. So yes, organic does work.
Can I add to that too? Like, I'm very organic. I all over Facebook. But one of the strategies that I've got which is organic, is to dominate as many pages in Google search as possible. So if you Google my name, Nick Cree, you'll see that every single listing for the first 6 pages is mine. Now, I know people say, well, why do you want to rank for yourself? You know, it's like, and it's not a vanity thing, but the reason why I rank for myself first of all is because when you meet people, what do? They Google you. They don't remember the business. They may not know that, but they will Google you and your name. So it's really important that you rank well for your name. Now, when you have a look at my Google listings, you'll find the very first listing on Google is one that says Nick Cree bio. That happens to be on my business website. So there I am. When you search for Nick Cree, it's my bio, but it's my website. So the very first listing they click on is they go to my website. They're not going to anything else about me. They're actually going to my website. And so you can optimize your own name and get them to your website and to get your business objectives by doing that. But you'll also see that other things there is really important to look at other modalities as well. So not just your website. So I've got a YouTube channel, so you'll see my videos up there. I appear on other people's podcasts, and it's amazing how those podcasts rank as well too. So when you sort of look up my name, I'm on half a dozen or so podcasts as well. So it's a really good thing to get into other people's platforms, because one, you get to reach their audience, And two, it helps you with your search ranking yourself as well, because they do the optimizing for you. And also think about the offline groups that you're part of. So one of the groups that I'm part of is one called BX Networking, and they are spending an insane amount of money on their SEO. I get to benefit from that because I'm listed in their directory. I speak for them. They post their, my live presentations on Facebook. It gets out onto Google as well too. And so this is not even my property. Now, the good thing about that there as well is that because it's not me promoting myself, it's somebody else promoting myself. That's third-party proof. So it's someone else saying, hey, this dude was on our platform. I interviewed this guy here. And so you get all of this third-party proof there, which is what drives people back to you, because it's not you saying how good you are, it's other people saying how good you are and having them on your platform. So one thing I would say is make sure that you are really everywhere on as many channels as you possibly can for your own name. Now, it's not going to take a lot of time. Like, I didn't deliberately set out to do that. It was just an organic strategy where I accepted any invitation I had to appear on anyone's podcast, on their webinar. I'm constantly writing. Some of those apps that I talked about, Scribed and SlideShare, that takes no time at all. Like, if you are presenting on someone's podcast and you've made a PowerPoint presentation, just upload it. It's 2 minutes to upload it, but you get this this lifetime of organic traffic, and it gets you in the search engines. If you've been videoed doing something, so like I know that at BX they video those, put those up onto YouTube. So you can grab those, put those up onto YouTube, and that gives you another point where people can find you as well. So the order I would do things in terms of optimizing is, particularly if you meet people and you're at networking events and you're online, is optimize your own name first and then optimize your business, because people will look for you first before they'll look for your business. And if you haven't done it, there is one website that everybody must have, apart from Google My Business. Google My Business is an absolute must. If you don't have a Google My Business for your profile, you're mad. So go and set it up now. And when you do set it up, there's a little track bar at the top that tells you, with your 60%, 70%, 80% complete. Make sure you complete it to 100%. Do absolutely everything there, because you'll be ahead of all your competitors that have only got it done to 80%. But the other site that you should have is one called about.me. So that there is a site which is your personal profile. Now, the great thing is if you get invited to speak anywhere and someone asks for your speaker bio, you've already got it there. It's got a photo, a high resolution photo. It's got your sort of a speaker bio about you. It's got all your social media links. Send them there and it's there. But also, that's someone else's platform. It's very well optimized, and you will get traffic from that platform there. So about.me, if there's nothing else you do tonight, apart from what Chantal told you, go to about.me and create that page. It will take you 30 minutes to get it done, and you'll never have to think about it again.
Yeah, that's excellent. So what I'll do is I'll share everyone a little bit of a cheat with regards to a podcast. So I do not have my own podcast, but what I do have is a strategy to reach more people. So I get onto other people's podcasts, and I have a speaker's bio, so I can go, I've got all these topics and things that I can talk about. So I'll try and get onto a podcast at least once a week. I'll be on someone else's podcast. And of course, I make sure that I'm with people who know how to play the game. So they know how to tag, they know how to share across all the multiple platforms. And I'm up on their podcast with their name, my free download, so that they can opt in onto my website. On my website, I created a podcast page. So if people are looking for a podcast, you can go to my website and you can see I've got a podcast drop-down link. All I did was on YouTube, I created a playlist called Podcast, and I download all my videos. So my podcast from Nick Cree, every single one of them, they're all there and they're all well titled and they're ready for YouTube. And if you go there, they're not even being stored on my website because they take up a lot of space. So if you go onto my website, you go to podcast, you go in there, you'll see all my podcasts, but they're actually being hosted in YouTube. So I'm getting the traffic from YouTube as well as on my Facebook, and I'm getting backlinks in my website as well as on YouTube to them. So I'm getting more reach. So what Nick was talking about earlier was around, you've got your content plan and your strategy to get people to buy what it is that you're offering. You need to have a growth strategy as well. So how you're going to put yourself in front of more of the right people. It's not just about attracting people with your content. It's about going out and creating more income producing opportunities. So blog posts, podcasts, speaking events, this is an opportunity here for me. So this is the type of thing that you want to make sure that you're including as well, and then use social media so you get that third party, the third party kudos as well.
And I should say, don't wait for people to ask you, go and ask them. So Chantal, the reason why Chantal's here tonight, apart from being a good friend of mine, she said, "Oh, it's about time I came back. Why don't we do a sort of question and answer session?" I thought, "Oh, that's fantastic. I don't have to think of a topic, or I don't have to find a speaker. Here you are, she's offering."
I can vouch for that because I was there when that conversation took place, and they asked me, "What do you reckon about this? Do you reckon this is a good idea?"
Yep. So go and create your own opportunities. Don't wait for them to happen. Just go and ask. If you're not confident, just go and do it anyway. You'll be surprised at the outcome. I've been on a podcast earlier on this year, only a couple of months ago, with a chap by the name of Tim Gillette. So that was his podcast, and he's actually a really cool guy as well too. So we got on like a house on fire. He invited me back to a virtual summit, which, by the way, I missed because I got the time zone wrong. So he sent me a note to say, "Oh, where are you?" I was asleep because it was at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I thought it was the next day. Woke up in the morning, I was just.
That wasn't the one that you thought was on Monday morning, was it? It
was. I was just absolutely mortified that I missed it. And so what I did was I thought, "Oh, what can I do?" And I actually recorded what I would have done anyway and sent it to him with a big apology and whatever. You know what he did? He invited me back for 2 more. So think about what you can do differently as well too. So you think about, if you there are always problems that come up, there are always issues that come up. So rather than concentrating on the problem and the issues, think about, what can I do to solve this, or how can I make this better? So if you're doing that, then you can really make a royal mess up, but you can still come out on top.
Just to reinforce that comment, Nick and Chantal, Ali and I were at a birthday celebration on Saturday evening, and there was a lady there who happens to run networking events for MLM companies. Never met her before at all, but now Ali has a email introduction with her, and now we're now talking about doing presentations and at events they run, because, as you say, they're always looking for presenters and speakers to enhance their offering to their audience. So yeah, that's just reinforces what you're saying. You ask, you get.
Absolutely. Yep. Don't be shy in coming forward. Just come forward. Put your best. In fact, don't put your best foot forward. Just put a foot forward.
Put both feet forward.
Exactly. Put your foot in the mouth. That even works as well too.
I would like to address Jane's shiny light syndrome. Shiny light syndrome, procrastination. Okay, put up your virtual hand, your real hand, or get up and twerk and let me know who has that. Right? Shiny light syndrome, procrastination, overwhelm, lack of direction, lack of clarity, focus, and you're just like, OMG, WTF, right? I'm going to tell you this because I probably deal with this in most of my weeks. I deal with this, and everyone is trying to look for this magic pill or this magic solution. And I mentioned it to Nick before we started, and he said, "That's really good." And I said to him, if you want to be a business owner, you need to own your business. And it starts with time management, okay? It sucks, and you're looking at me going, "Oh, what a lot of blah, blah, blah." The best thing that you can do is go and get control over your time. Go and look into your calendar, allocate times, set notifications. And when people ask me, they always say, "Oh, Chantal, you've got so much focus and you're so whatever." And I'm like, no, I'm not. But what I do is I put in my diary, I set my alarms, my email notifications, I stick to the time, and I make sure that I include time, not just to walk the dog and go on holidays like last week is on Strategy, but make sure I put time in there to work on my business, time to work in my business, time for work, time for play, time for everything. But you want to go and create your day and make sure that you have control over your time. Because if you are looking for more customers, you have to have time for those customers. And you're going to have systems in place, and you're going to have structures in place. So it's really important that we don't avoid the things that we need to do in order to be successful and in order to own a business and be a successful business owner. So my biggest productivity tool, I use Gmail. Absolutely love Gmail calendar. Everything just sits in there and it takes up space, which is really awesome. So I wake up every day knowing that I have enough time to get the kids to school, I have enough time to prepare my meals, have enough time to exercise, walk the dog, go for a swim, go to the beach. But I also, all my clients are booked in and everything's automated and under control. But my time for social media, my time to talk to my VAs, my time is all completely managed, and I know that I'm going to enjoy it. So my number one tip for productivity and for shiny light syndrome is put it in the calendar, and then you're more likely to make it happen. The second part to that is declutter. So unsubscribe from things that don't serve you, not my emails though. Please don't unsubscribe from those. Okay, Ron. Don't unsubscribe from my emails, but unsubscribe from everyone else's emails. Get rid of email addresses that you don't use anymore, or all those horrible emails that are coming through. Unfriend people who are not relevant from you. You will hear people telling you all the time, just friend anybody on Facebook or online. I do not believe in doing that. I'm a big firm believer of don't do that, because like attracts like, energy attracts energy. And because it's an algorithm, you really want to make sure that you've got the right people on there, because you'll continue, it's kind of like a rash. It'll continue to grow with all the right things. So unsubscribe from things that don't serve you, declutter, clear up your workspace, so that you're setting yourself up for success and not setting yourself up for failure. And of course, as I said, make sure that you put play in there as well. That's super important.
I just add to that too, Chantal, is
Sure.
that with your diary or your calendar, don't put anything in there you're not going to do. Everything you put in there, make a commitment to get it done. So how many people have put things in their calendar, so thinking, yeah, I need to do that, or I need to book time and do it, and it gets there and something else is another priority and gets in the way. Don't do that. You're ripping yourself off. This is an appointment with yourself. Like if it's stuff for you, and you diary it in, that is your time. Get it done and do it. That's one of the biggest productivity things too. So many people put themselves last rather than putting themselves first. So, when you do block out that time in your calendar, make sure you say no to everything else.
Well, a lot of the time people set themselves up for failure because they'll say, go and do my social media management, and they'll put 4 hours in their calendar. And I mean, that's just daunting and ridiculous. And that would be like absolutely soul sucking for me. So, don't do that. And if you put it at the end of the day, but you're the most creative in the morning, like don't do that, because you're setting yourself up to fail again. But when you put the rewarding stuff in, like, oh, well, if I'm going to take care of my social media in the morning, I'm going to schedule it all for the week. I'm going to put an hour aside to do that. But in the afternoon, I'm going to set aside an hour to do yoga, or to go walk the dog, or to go hang out with my friends, or do whatever. There's a reward for it as well. So again, we're setting ourselves up for success, not for failure.
All right. Well, we're almost getting, we are. Look at that. 7:30, time flew, didn't it? I'm going to give you one other challenge as well too. And that is with all, and this is really kicked off from what Chantal said about emails and unsubscribing from stuff. Pick someone, or maximum of 3 people, but at least one person that you're going to follow next year. So that's a strategy, a process, someone that is someone that you respect in business, that's got some things to teach you. Focus on what they say. So it's a bit like, choose your task that you're going to do and get it finished. So choose the person you're going to follow, in the sense, they're going to be your tutor, the person you're going to learn from. Stick with them for the 12 months. Or if it's 6 months, make it 6 months and have 2 a year, but stick with them and really follow them through, read all of their stuff. So this year, the person that I stuck with was a chap by the name of Chris Lemmer. Would you believe he posted a blog post and an email newsletter every single day this year. Every day without fail, he did it. But it was highly relevant, and pretty much I read every one of those email newsletters that he put out. But choose that one person that you're going to follow. So don't do it now. Just think about it over that Christmas period. Grab that one person, and then don't buy any other programs. Just that one person.
I'm going to go and then say to you, be very careful about that, who you choose, because what I find, and I've written a blog about this on my website, but so many people take advice from people on Facebook and Facebook groups. They will go out there and they will say, what website do I need? And they'll have 20,000 different people coming in with all different opinions when they don't know your business. They don't know your big idea and your big strategy. And people are taking this advice from people who, some of them have never even been there or done that, and they may have good intentions, but really they don't know who it is. So be very careful of taking free online advice, and downloading those $7 things and $47 things, because are you really going to follow through with them? Are you really going to achieve the big goals that you want? Jane is a bit of a whore when it comes to online courses. Yep, she just needs to say no. Everyone's looking for the next big shiny thing, and it's not. It's right there in front of you. Finish what you're doing. Finish it.
Yep, the next course is not going to solve it. What's going to solve it is you finishing the first course.
And you're still going to have to start and finish the course that you're doing next.
And you have to implement it. It's not doing the course. The course is not going to do it. You actually have to implement the stuff. All right. Well, here we are at 7:30. Are there any last requests, any comments? Feel free to open your mic and don't ask a really big question, because we're probably not going to quite get there, but open your mic and give us your feedback. What do you think about tonight? What are your takeaways from tonight?
Nick, I'll answer the two questions that we had online. So the one question we had online was your personal profile versus your business profile. Okay. Absolutely great question. There is a recording or something that I've done on that previously. Nick mentioned it briefly about branding yourself. Personal branding is really important. Now, I do work with some clients that have got, child protection orders out or DVOs, and, they're psychologists, and they have to have a private profile, and that's okay. There is a strategy for everyone. So if that is you and you don't want to be the face of your business, you can have a strategy. So I want to empower you with that or inspire you with that. But your personal profile is about you, the person. If you choose to have a public personal profile, still understand your privacy settings. So you know how to block, you know what people can see or can't see, and you know it's relevant. The second part of that is, if you want to have a private profile on Facebook, it's really important that in the bio you say, this is my private profile, please connect with me elsewhere, and make sure that when you are posting in there that you have set everything up as private, which is really important. But you need to understand what people can and can't see, because a lot of the time, especially in Facebook, people are really confused by that. When people go and stalk you, Ron has said it, straight away nearly unmuted myself earlier and went, Ron, you stalker. But people stalk, and this is a normal behavior of what people do. So they will be stalking you as well. They will go online and they will check out your personal profile before they check out your business profile. So it's important that you understand and know what they can see, and that your personal branding or how you want to be seen is what they are actually seeing. And I call it a 5-finger scroll. So if you're on a mobile phone, go 5 scrolls. That's usually as much as what people will do. So I challenge you to do this for yourself. Go into your mobile phone, look at your personal profile, and do a 5-finger scroll and go, if I didn't know myself, how do I look to a stranger? Then go to your business page and do a 5-finger scroll and go, if I didn't know what I did or what I'm offering and to who it is, does this make sense to a stranger? And that is so incredibly powerful. And I do this to myself on a weekly basis to make sure that I'm effectively communicating my personal and business brand. So So that was the question about the personal and business profile. But I do want to say to you that it is your right to have a private profile, but then you just need to have another strategy. There is a strategy for everyone. You've got to make sure that you understand your settings, you know how you're set up, and you do have a strategy, whether or not you choose to have a private or a public profile. But personal profile is important, especially in Facebook groups, because some groups will not let you engage as the business page. They will only let you engage as the person. Now, you are saying to me inside your head, well, that's okay, I'll just set up another personal profile on Facebook. Well, ever since COVID, artificial intelligence has stepped up. And unfortunately, what that means is they can actually pick it up when you are on a computer and you have two personal profiles because you set up your business as a personal profile. And the amount of people, one of the reasons why I ditched Facebook, the amount of people who called me and said, I've lost my account, Facebook has just taken away my account and I've lost everything, was because they're not following how Facebook is meant to be used. And that is one personal profile and then business pages and groups. So whatever strategy you're going to have or how public or private you're going to be, you do need to understand that, you know, a lot of people are done. A lot of people are going to stalk you. So be sure that you know what they're seeing. The second question that was asked was whether or not, you know, I think how you use Facebook groups. So I personally am a fan of making money from what I do. So I don't know about everyone else, but a lot of people are spending so much time on Facebook, growing a Facebook page, growing a Facebook group, and now they've got to put content here. Now they've got to put content here, and they're sending people from their personal profile to their business page back to their group, and they're going round and round in circles. They're not making any money. They're now posting in multiple groups, and they're getting exhausted, getting overwhelmed, and it's not working. At the end of the day, it comes down to having a strategy. My strategy is to build my Facebook page, and I'll let you know mine. My clients will all have different strategies, and it's not one size fits all, but it has to be something that you're prepared to follow through with. It has to be something that you're committed to doing. Like Nick is committed to running his, you know, business owner, smashing it online, creating content on there and on his page. Like, you've got to be committed to whatever the strategy is that you're going to do in order to see it through to money, which is the end of a strategy. And at the end of the day, you don't have to do what everyone else is doing. You do not need to be funneling people into groups if that's not what you want to do. Then just focus on building your page. But your personal profile is really important because you do have to use that as well. As I said, with my strategy, I focus on my page, I focus on content with my audience and satisfying their needs. But then I have a growth strategy, which means going out, creating opportunities to point people back to my Facebook page or back to a discovery call. Because remember what I said, get them the hell of social media needs to be part of your strategy as quickly as possible. Do not send them round in circles. And if they do go to a group, and I just created a post today on it, on my Facebook page, Chantal Girardi, Online Business Strategist, I posted a thing about groups today. And I said, for goodness sake, when people get to the group, get to your group, what is their experience? What is the journey that you're taking them on? Are you getting their email address? Have you clearly defined what the purpose of that group is, what your commitment is, and what you are expecting them? Because how many groups do you get invited to? I get invited to 1,000 every day. I belong to 1,000. But I do not go in and engage in them unless it's something I truly want to be involved in. And it certainly helps if they email marketing to me so that they stay forefront of mind. So with a group, you don't need to fall into it. I've got a mastermind. It's $97 a month. And every week I create content for an hour and it's live like this. And people pay $97 a month and show up on a Monday, 1 o'clock, and they listen to me. A really good strategy for that. That goes to Zoom. It goes to YouTube. It's unlisted because only my VIPs get access to that. I use Otter, which is a transcription tool. So OTTER, Otter AI. It transcribes it. I then have a VA who has to then make sure it makes sense. That gets created into a blog. It may get created into an online course, and it may go out in social media posts and in my newsletter. And people are paying me $97 to be in a group to get that content once a week.
Excellent. All right, there we go. We've gone well over time, but it is the last session, so I think we can do that for the very last one. So Chantal, how do people find you, get in touch with you if they want to find out more about you and what you offer?
I would most certainly subscribe on the website, which is chantalgirardi.com.au. So check the spelling because it's not great. There isn't couple R's, couple A's, couple of extra things in there. So make sure that you get that right.
Thanks, Kathy.
And that's an objection that I handle because people don't know how to spell the name. So I always point them to the name so it becomes memorable. It's not as simple as Nick Cree. Really important, go into my website and subscribe to the email list, because that way you'll get our tips. Every single week we send out tips as well. Make sure that you like the Facebook page. And actually, one of the other questions that was asked online is stories, the video lengths of stories. So what I do have for everyone today who sends me their email address, if you private message me your email address, I will add you to my database. So you don't have to worry about subscribing, but I will send you a checklist, which I made up. So it's very, very recent, and it will tell you the best place to schedule Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google My Business, and it will tell you the current lengths of each video, because it's different. It's 20 seconds here, 15 seconds there, 2 minutes here, 3 minutes there. So we've created a checklist for you, and I will happily send that to you if you'll hand over your email address and go into my database. So feel free to private message me.
Awesome. Excellent. Well, there we go. How was that for our last session for this year? Hopefully you got some value out of it. Just give us a round of applause if you did. Do it anyway. All right. Well, just so that you don't leave empty-handed, it is the Christmas season after all, and we do have a giveaway, which I wasn't expecting, but Chantal has put up her hand and she said she's happy to give away something. So tell us, Chantal, what are you going to give away to one lucky person here?
I have got a 14-day content challenge, and every day for 14 days, I'll email you something. I actually think Glenn, did you get the 14-day challenge? Glenn has been an awesome stalker, and he's been absolutely awesome at following up and connecting and doing some stuff on the side. So I love that. I love hearing that people are actually doing some of the stuff that I'm offering. And the 14-day Facebook content challenge, every day for 14 days, I'll send you an email with some inspo for your Facebook page, but also the direction on how to do it and the why. So why you should be doing it. So it'll just give you some momentum. It'll give you some ideas, and it'll also show you where your insights are, so you can have a look and see how amazing it is, where it is. So I just need your email address for that as well. So please make sure that you send it through to me.
And I've never, ever, ever, ever won the prize on this. And if I win it tonight, it's going, we're redrawing.
I'll tell you what, Chantal's name's in here as well too. It's mine.
No, I don't want to be online. I just want to go walk my dog.
All right, I know some people had to leave early because we have run a bit over time. So as I say, you have to be here to win. So it's worth staying for just a little while longer while we spin the wheel. All right, let's see who the lucky winner is. Drum roll, please. Probably going to be Ian. He wins everything. And it is Kathy King. Oh, look at that. How good is that? Jane said, no, stick around for a wee while. And look at that. Wasn't that worthwhile? Oh, that is absolutely fabulous. You must have known, Jane. All right. So, Kathy, do you want to drop your email address? Just message Chantal in the chat there. You can select the drop down there in the chat, and you can just select Chantal's name, shoot it through your email address and phone number or whatever, and then she'll be in touch with you. That is a freaking awesome prize, actually, because I have done that challenge. And it is pretty awesome. So if you want some motivation and really want to get some stuff, that is really good. Can people buy that or get that from you some other way?
Great question. I have created it into a bot. So every day it's actually in a Facebook Messenger bot, but it's still in the trial phase. So Facebook gets a bit cranky with bots, because if people don't engage within 24 hours, you actually get like spanked on the knuckles. And they slow down your algorithm. So still busy testing out that version, but I do have the email version. So yeah, if anybody did want it, it's normally just $14 for 14 days. So $1 a day.
Excellent, excellent. So just contact Chantal, send you her email, and shall they do that? Or just go to her website. What's that? chantalgerardi.com.au?
Yep.
Yep, you'll find it there. All the stuff's there. So that's awesome. Let's give Chantal a big round of applause. That was an awesome session for our final one for 2021. So we'll be back here 2022. Now, what date are we starting? It's the last week in January, I believe. I've got two of my team on board here, which should be able to tell me, but let me see. I'm always forgetting this sort of stuff. So it will be on the 28th. No, it won't. That's December. It'll be on the 25th of January, 2022. That's when we'll kick off next year. Mark that in your calendar. You can't book it yet because we haven't got it up on Zoom yet, but mark it in your calendar, or make sure that you have subscribed to Business Owners Smashing It Online Facebook page. We will post it there and announce it there. Follow me, and you'll also see it there as well too. If you really enjoyed the session, or if there's something that you missed tonight, then it'll be up on YouTube tomorrow on our YouTube channel. So if you just search for SmashGo on YouTube, it'll be there tomorrow afternoon. Just go and subscribe. When you hit the subscribe button, you'll see a bell appear. Click that bell, and that bell will be you'll be notified as soon as that video is loaded and ready to go. So the link to the YouTube channel is now in chat. So probably the best thing you can do tonight is to save that chat. So if you're not sure where chat is, it's down the bottom of your screen. It's a little speech bubble icon. Click on that. That'll open chat. Down the bottom right-hand side of chat, you'll see three little dots. Click on those three little dots, and that will have you save it to your desktop. And it will tell you where it saved it. So it'll give you a link there. So click on that link, and you'll just go straight to where you've saved it. So you don't have to wonder where it ended up on your computer. All right, so that's it for this year. That is 2021. So thanks very much for everyone that's been a regular here. For those that are new, thank you for coming along as well too. Hope you enjoyed the session. And thanks again, Chantal, for being with us for our very last one. So everyone have a great Christmas, great New Year. Look forward to seeing you next year.